All righty. So go ahead and find an upright seat. So even though you've got good cracked ribs, okay, this is such a, it's just you guys can help present to me wonderful things we can do. We're all going to have a fall, a faux pas, a trip, where, and the one thing, and I have been thinking that we need to do a little bit more with our balance, okay? So we're going to be starting to do, making sure that every time we're doing some balance stuff, because just standing on one foot, there's a couple of things that happen. I want you to just think about this. If you're standing here, okay, so I thought I had this perfect, but I stood up and my head got cut off. Okay, so if you're standing and you're just standing on one foot, this is good for this muscle, but this here for the ankle, to just, that is such important work we do so that we can adapt, because we're going to have times when, I don't know about you, but walking on sidewalks, they're uneven. So and sometimes there's that little lip that you just catch, you know. So we want to be able to catch ourselves if we can. So pause for a moment. Hold your ball still. Let the breath, and sometimes ribs are one of the hardest things because la la la, welcome. Okay. Ribs are just tough because they hurt. It hurts to breathe deep. It hurts to move. Yeah, they're tough. So for just a moment, holding onto your balls, putting them under your foot, holding them still. Maybe you're still getting set up. Find your breath. So in yoga, the breath is there to help us connect our body with our thoughts, our mind, with our spirit, our soul, okay, the divineness that's in each of us, that kind of is our, some people would call it their conscious, I call it spirit, but it is like a divine help that knows more than we do. And often it's trying to tell us, Dad, you know, you're going to hurt yourself if you step up there on that wobbly ladder. Try to find something else that's maybe a little safer. You know, don't be in such a rush to get done, whatever it is, right? And when we take this moment to focus on our breath, that little bit of a pause gives us what we need to kind of go, oh, maybe I should try this. Maybe this is an idea. And when we listen, we get it again and again. And so we don't make a judgment that we didn't listen. We just try to bring ourselves back to listening over and over again. These are the places when I do pause that my mind is, oh, you know what? I could do this. And I get those insights and those ideas. So as we practice today, it's one of the reasons we practice.
That's right.
It's one of the reasons we practice breathing with movement. Because one of my favorite little lines, PP, perfect practice prevents poor performance. right? I cannot have always perfect performance, but I can always have perfect practice. So we practice breathing. We practice paying attention. We have a sense of what's going on. We notice that when we sit and just breathe for just a moment, I feel more capable. I just had an idea that I could do this. Because sometimes when we are so task-oriented, check, 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 get this done, do this, we forget that moment. That's been the biggest thing yoga has brought to my life. And through that, so much more. But coming back to that again and again. So, more rounds of breath without moving anything, without having an agenda, bringing the brain back again. The inhale, the exhale. The inhale, the exhale. This is number 3, the inhale, the exhale, the inhale, the exhale. That was 5. One more for good measure. The inhale, the exhale. And then blink open the eyes. Just notice. So good to see some of you I haven't seen for a while. Go ahead and stretch those arms up overhead. Ooh, just breathe. Roll through those shoulders. So we're going to roll through everything, all the joints, and then we really are going to stand and do a little bit of balance and some movement today, okay? Go ahead, hold your arms still now and grab your ball and underneath the feet. We're not going to spend an exorbitant amount of time on any particular body part, okay? I know we've got some hurt ribs. How are the hips? How is playing? It's been so fun, I know. Not fun.
That's why I have to hear. I did yard work and I couldn't walk.
Yard work does that to us, doesn't it?
It's been 3 weeks and still not.
I've been going through a raspberry patch that hadn't been anyway. And yes, well, it had, and then it did have a dog that would eat all the new shoots, so all it had were these little old shoots. And then it had gone, you know how raspberries are, they come up in your lawn, they come up in, they just love to send out shoots. Well, they'd let the shoots wrap around, and I didn't want them there. So I've been, got the little, this size rock that is so hard to work around in the yard. So you just kind of, to get down to the dirt so you can get rid of it, So, and you know what? I didn't get it all done at one time because there was this segment and then my hands started to really hurt and I was just like, you know what? So today I'll go back and finish. It's okay to do that in our life, right? Go ahead and shift to the other side. We are not going to spend a ton of time on any particular body part. But if you find a place that is just like a little tender, go ahead and just leave it there for a moment. Put a little pressure. We're going to use these balls again when we stand up. You're going to notice, oh, I did that sitting, but now standing, it's because there's greater weight pushing down when we stand. When we stand and do the balls, sometimes they scoot away. So we're going to chase them back. One thing we are going to do, we'll do it with the other foot in a minute. Yeah, find those 3 amigos, right? The big toe and the pinky toe and the 3. Try to get the ball of the foot down. So you're trying to get this part of the foot on the floor so that these toes are really folded back. Okay? Yeah. And if you need to help it physically, kind of go, okay, come on, stay down there, that's fine too. This is so good for our foot. Anybody feel a little tingle, a little bit of like pressure? This is so good to increase the blood flow down through our toes. Okay, now go ahead. Michelle's got hers picked up. We've got our long-toed woman here again. Go ahead and come up and over and point. Okay, you might get a cramp in the calf, in the arch. If you do so, just come out and come back in. You are going to try to stretch the toe as long as you can get them. You're going to see, if you pull up close, I've got one toe that doesn't like to stretch long. Okay, it's okay. Come back, press them again, and this time with the press, get the ball of the foot down, lift the heel, but keep the ball of the foot on the ground. Yeah, we're creating even more contraction in those toes. Yes, beautifully done. And then come down, you're gonna go one more time, up and over for the point. Now on this point, this part of the foot, the top, will you lift it up as high as you can get it to lift? Oh yeah, okay. Go ahead and lean back. Notice I'm kind of leaning back. Maybe you can straighten the leg out, pointing through that foot. And then go ahead, move the ball over to the other foot, pause, and then just pick this one up and roll through that ankle. So when I do that one, I get a little bit of a tingle and a numbing in my toes, okay? That's a good thing because we're not gonna leave it that way, right? Go both directions, flex now. Go ahead and drop the heel. Flex the toes. You're pulling them back towards your shin as tight as you can. As tight as you can. Heel is on the ground. If that is really difficult, because you got short legs, that is fine. So you're pulling back. This is calf. We're going to work our calves a little bit later. Okay? Then go ahead and just come up as straight as you can and see if you can do that hinge at the hip while you pull the toes back. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. You're gonna feel that. Now make sure one of the tendencies we have, and I'm a really good example of this, it's not a good thing to be a good example of, is to lock this knee. So if I can see little creases in your pants here, I know you're locking the knee. So you want to have a little bit of a bend, toes pulling this way, you're leaning this way, and then see if you can take this rear end, the sit bone there, and you're just gonna pull it back towards the back of the room. Oh yeah, there goes hamstring, back about 5, and then just a little bit of a wave. Yeah. Just love on that hamstring, and then come back to where you're leaning and wave the foot. Yeah. Strumming across that back side of that hamstring. Knees a little bit bent, right? We don't want to lock it out. And then go ahead and take it open here, right? So the knees wide, toes are turned out, and then just point and flex. You're going to feel that up in here. Yeah. And you might feel it down through here as well. And then come up, release. Oh, shake it out. Other foot, okay, come down, find those 3 amigos, big toe on one side, pinky toe, ball of the foot on the ground. So get that ball of the foot down, okay. This part, it starts to be where this just really feels good on your foot. Is that the same foot, Michelle?
Well,
I thought you did the,
I started here, then I went here, then when we started doing all that other
We
stuff.
went back
I did.
over, okay, just wanted to make sure, because, yeah, I guess that's right, okay. Alrighty, here we come, up and over, okay, you're trying to point the toes down. We're not straightening this leg yet. Ooh, calf. Okay, this. And then come back, get the ball of the foot down. That sometimes takes a moment, right? And then you are gonna lift the heel. You're contracting quite strongly those 3 little toes. Okay, beautifully done. Now, come up and over. You're gonna find that point. I've gotta move my ball a little closer, longer away. Okay, and point. This, you can let the leg go long, okay? You're pulling and lifting the top of the foot up. Oh, you might feel that in that. Yeah. And then go ahead, grab the behind and do your ankle rolls. Yeah, putting it in a shoe, putting it behind you where you can reach it, go both directions. Okay, and then plant the heel, toes pulled back. When I first start this, it's like, I'm not feeling anything, right? I don't feel anything. When I add in the lean, it's like, oh, there's that muscle, okay? And then I actually am going to push this forward a little bit, heel pushes down a little bit, sit bone pushes back. And then can you find that little bit of a wave, swaying? Up on a block works if that makes it, okay? And then go ahead and hold and wave. That strums across. The hamstring isn't just one muscle, okay? None of them really in the body. Our Creator used multiple muscles to do one single bit of movement. Beautifully done. And then release. Oh wait, we gotta hold it back over here. Bend the knee. Okay, feel that, just that holding of the toes back engages through the legs. Beautifully done. And release. Nicely done. Go ahead and stand up. So come around to the back of your chair. I will turn sideways. Make sure if you're on a hard surface that you've got the chair on something. If you're on the carpet, it'll be okay. Unless it's really, you want it on a mat because it prevents the movement. Okay. So just grab, just stretch back, bend the knees, find that length. Just stretch through the legs, stretch from the body. Oh, go ahead and bend the knees and straighten the knees and bend the knees and straighten them. Push into the, so try to spread those toes. Remember how we just worked our toes? Try to spread them and come down and back up, reaching backwards with your sit bones. Reaching backwards, yes. Come back up, reaching backwards. Go ahead and just hold. And then that, just a little wave, but this time it's with my knees, okay? Working into the hamstring, into the glute. And then come all the way back, wiggle through those legs, okay? You're going to stand just facing the chair. I'll turn here so you can see me, okay? Stand on your right leg. Spread through the toes. Try to make sure that the knee doesn't do that lock back, okay? So the ankle and the knee and the hip are just right like a pillar. You're also not gonna do this lean thing. So come on up. It's almost like you're trying to pull on pantyhose. I know you guys have done it. I'm just teasing. But try and pull, like maybe suspenders, something tight is pulling up, and you're gonna feel that in that standing leg. And then go ahead and you can hold on. If you're able to, don't. Just go ahead and wiggle. We're looking to strengthen this standing leg here. Okay? You might fall. Just come right back in. Okay? You might just grip hold because you don't want to fall. That's fine too. Go ahead and swing this. Create a little bit of in and out here, which changes what that ankle has to do. Okay? And then go ahead and hold it out to the side. Okay? Push down through that. Right foot is standing, right? You can let go, okay, if you want. We're really not. Then bring this foot just right against the calf and the ankle. It's called tree pose. So the bottom of my foot is all the way. It's not just my heel. It's the whole bottom of my foot. And then for just a moment, see about standing here. Moving, maybe the arms. Look at something on the ground in front of you that's not moving, but you are moving. And then release and wiggle out that standing leg. Beautifully done, okay? Fabulous work. Find the left leg. Here I've got a block right in front of it. Spread through those toes, okay? Find, feel, imagine that you're trying to put something on. Maybe it's spandex, okay? Blair laughs all the time at me putting on spandex. So pull that up, pull it up. It's reaching, clear up past your belly. It's just like this, these tendrils are coming out of the earth, right? And they're coming up, and then you're just gonna lift. You can totally use this, okay? You can just hold it still for a moment and find what that ankle needs, okay? And then start wiggling. Maybe you can do it without hands. Maybe you're like, oh, I'm falling today. Okay, one of the things I notice, there'll be sometimes that I'll take or teach a candlelight class. So we have candles on, the room is dark. My balance is way wonky in those. I'm like, woo, all over the place, okay? Go ahead and turn it out to the side and start moving it this kind of way. This is so good. It changes what that ankle needs to do. Fall out, come right back in. Fall out, come back in, but come back in, lifting, right? Finding that, and then hold it out to the side. Yeah, lift if you want. That's a hard one to do. And then bring that foot. It's on the calf, okay? And then see if for just a moment you can find, look at something again that's not moving. That would not be me because I'm wiggling up here. Look at something, a spot on the floor, a place on your mat, right? Hold and then move everything but your gaze. We call it a drishti gaze. It's just this soft and release. Can you feel the leg work that you've done?
Yeah.
Ankles, okay? This is really important. So, holding onto the back of your chair, go ahead and come up onto your toes. Ooh. Bend the knees, kind of roll through the and then bring the heels down, okay? Come back up and come back down. Come back up. Now, you have options. If you would like to, try this. Oh, yeah, maybe you wobble. I'm a good wobble. Or maybe you go up and you go, oh, and you can come back down. So, finding balance. Go ahead and step back. This will feel really good after the work we've done. Just come to that stretch, lengthening through the spine. Did anybody's low back get tight doing that? Mm-hmm. That's what happens, because our whole lower body is helping us. So find that stretch. Reach those hips, well, bend those knees, lengthen through the body, and then come all the way back. Okay, holding on to the back of your chair again. Okay, standing firm. This time, just pick up and as big a circle as you can get. Okay, you might go, yeah, I can't, and we're not in a rush. So make it slow. Yeah, go to your full range of motion. Now, we've been just here. Now come this way. Go ahead and let it turn in. So that's one of the movements that I have to do every day, is this inward rotation, okay? And then outward rotation. Anybody standing like getting a little tired? Yeah, and release, shake it out, okay? Try the second side. Take it up and out, and make great big circles. Yeah. Letting that movement, moving again with your breath, go ahead and reverse it, let it cross over. This is the action that is really hard for this one hip on mine. And it's just because I'm missing some cushioning. Okay. Notice the standing leg gets tired and release. Go ahead and take your feet as wide as your mat. Bent knees, shake. Hold on to a chair if you still want. Let it just go. Okay, yeah, it's not pretty. I don't think it's pretty on anybody, because we all have jiggly places. Let it jiggle and come back. Go ahead and hold on. Stretch it back. Breathe. Bending the knees slightly, reaching the sit bones back towards the back of the room. Reach the shins and the toes forward. Reach the hips and the sit bones and the rear end back. And come all the way back up again. So pause for a moment, just holding on to the chair. Close your eyes. Pay attention to your breath. And then let your mind travel down to the ankles, the feet, the calves, the shins, the thighs, the hips. I don't feel a ton in my upper body, but that lower body all of it has moved. That is so vital that we move. Okay, and then blink open the eyes. So even when, okay, this particular movement for my hip, right, is painful, even though it is, okay, it still needs to be done. This is not, it's not really straining that joint, but what happens is, as we age, right, our muscles, okay, they're meant to move. They're meant to kind of be elastic. The thing that we used to do a lot of, do you remember doing this, you'd hold a stretch and then you'd bounce in the stretch? That's doing this, it's like elastic band. Let me wear you out so you can snap. Okay, that's not what we're talking about. But this kind of movement is totally, it's requiring all of the muscles of that hip socket to rotate, and it creates blood flow, and it creates warmth. And so it's just an everyday thing, okay? That's why instead of just my 10 minutes that it used to take, it's now 45 to get my body so that it can do anything it wants. And that's where I want to be. Okay. Okay. Christy's already starting. Hips. Yeah. This movement. Almost like you're doing the hula. Let your rear end poke back. Let it even tuck under a little bit. Let it poke back. Let it tuck under. Make it big. Feel as if you are trying to. Anybody ever scraped out a peanut butter jar? Peanut butter is one of my favorites, okay? So that peanut butter jar, this is the knife scraping the inside, right? Trying to get every last piece of that yumminess. Go ahead and reverse it if you haven't already. Going the other direction, okay? Oftentimes, we've done cat-cow, right? We've done barrel roll with our rib cage. This is with our hip socket every day, right? Every day. We just don't, and we make it big. And somebody watching us may think, that's really weird. It doesn't matter. That's not why we're doing yoga, is so that we look pretty, right? And then stop and just notice, okay? Grab your block. Okay, slide it forward. I'll do it sideways so you can see. Okay, go ahead and hold on to your chair. You might need to do it on the side. You're going to put the ball foot on the block and drop the heel. Now, we've done this in our chair. I want you to notice the difference here, okay? So wherever it needs to be, you can do it from the side like this. You're going to bend the knee. Don't let that knee lock back. Make it bend, and then take a lean. I'd like you to feel this in your calf, the back of your calf, okay? Breathe. Go ahead and come up, both toes. And then you're going to draw the heel back down, bend the knee, and lean. Come back up. Come back up on both toes. So one's higher than the other, right? Come back down, bend the knees, lean. Hold the lean, really reach back, really reach down. Now, if you're kind of like, I'm not feeling much with this block. Anybody there? Okay. Because you can always make that block a little higher and trying to reach that heel to the floor. If you happen to have a bigger foot,
It's easier.
It's not easier, but to get that heel down requires the stretch there. And then when you lean forward, you feel it up the back of your leg, yes? Be gentle and release. Now, pause, close your eyes. Hold on to something when you close your eyes. Take a deep inhale. Can you feel that calf muscle? Feel the heat that we've created. That's the blood flow. Go ahead, change sides. Find the ball of the foot. You can start low. You can start high if you've got a longer foot. Okay? Drop the heel down, bend the knee. Find the initial stretch in that calf. See, the toes will want to do this on the block. See if you can just lengthen them. Just doing that changes the stretch for me. Okay? Then, here we go. We're up on both toes. Come all the way up. Okay? As high as you can get, and then come all the way down, bending the knees. You can bend both of them. You're going to lean forward, but you're reaching your sit bone back. So you want the heel on the floor, and then come back up. Come all the way up, and then just move up high. You might feel really wobbly here. Come up as tall as you can on those toes. Okay, these are supported. And then come back down. Bend those knees. Stretch it back. You're going to hold this stretch for a minute. Try to reach the toes. Yeah, feel that extra little there. Again, if you're like, I maybe want just a little bit deeper stretch. Now, anybody got stairs at their house? Right? This, holding on to the railing, holding on to a wall, holding on to something, dropping your heel down the stair. One of the best things, look what we're doing to our ankle. Okay, that's a tremendous flexion of that ankle, right? And when you get done, go ahead and come up, pause, notice that feel and kind of go, oh yeah, there's been some work going on there, okay? Come back around and sit.
That was good stuff.
That is good stuff, okay? With this seat, we're going to stand back up, but I want to do our, for some of you, the hips are just, we've got some hip issues. So we're gonna go a little deeper into the hips. Then we'll get into the shoulders. So block, it's gonna be out to the side at an angle, right? And I want it to be, make it be not just right here, but make the block be a ways away, okay? So that, yeah, and even make it be out to the side a little, maybe more, so that you really are, we're gonna get into these hips, okay? You're facing forward, this leg, it might move, it's okay. But you're just trying to, you're not going wide with it. It's trying to stay here. We're getting into this one hip socket, okay? And you are pulling, you're gonna feel as if there's a magnet on this outside of this knee, and it's just pulling wide. Yeah, so yeah, take your, no, take it that way towards Christy. Move the block that way. There you go. That's it. I know. Yeah, and then find, yeah, and then you're just gonna wag it. Okay, one of the best things you can do for that hip socket. Okay, go ahead and go wide, feel the magnet pull again, and then wobble it. Feel the magnet pull again. Now, we're gonna add one more thing. See if you can lift your heel. Oh, yeah. Come up as high as you can. Your calf will engage. You might get a little cramping. You're just going up just a tad bit higher. Go ahead, and while the heel is lifted, try to pull the heel down, but don't let it move down. And notice what you do in that hip socket. You'll find a little bit of extra work going on, and then release it. If you need to, use your hand, but bring it here, and then, and you'll see my face. Yeah, I have to do this kind of work every day. And then just circles, both directions. You'd only need a couple of them, okay? And then let's go to the other side. So the block is not close to you here. It's out to the side at an angle that requires this hip socket and that thigh to move. Find your magnet. This foot's kind of trying to be straight forward. Yeah, okay. Can you go a little wider? Towards your wife. I know the things I make you do. Go ahead, find the magnet. It's pulling. Now on this side, there's no pain for me. Okay, this side doesn't have the same ingredients, whatever. So this one just feels yummy. Okay, you might just feel yummy. You might be kind of like, oh, whoa. Okay, go ahead and wobble it. And then find the magnet again. Yeah, notice that. That's that gentle, we call it organic energy because it's just a push out wide. It's just this natural. I'm not taking my hand and making it move. And then wobble it again. We got one more. And then take it out to the side. And then we release and do some hip circles. Circle through, make sure you go both directions, okay? Beautifully done. Let's work. Grab your strap. We're just gonna work some of this stuff into our shoulders. So, with ribs, you're gonna just go for movement. You're not gonna pull. That's too, I think that's too intense on the ribs. And we don't want to pull the rib apart from where it's, we don't want to make it bigger, is what. So for everybody else, we're pulling wide. You're just holding here, okay? And then you're just going to find, so you're not pulling, you're just going to, you're just going to move up and down. We are pulling and moving up and down. And we're feeling the shoulder blades on the back pull together, okay? Use the shoulder blades, use those shoulder blades. Those shoulder blades, and release, okay? Roll through those shoulders. So if you think about the shoulder blades on the back, okay, They have muscle on the top of them. They have muscle underneath them. They are meant to just slide on our back. That's one of the shoulder girdle that gives us this range of motion, okay? Most of the time when we do push-ups, we do strength training, we strengthen these muscles. Do nothing with these, okay? Which is why so many older people, okay, have that little dowager hump right here, because this isn't getting used. So when we do this, okay, go ahead, you're just holding, you're not pulling it. The rest of us are pulling it. You're not pulling it. You're not pulling it. We're not gonna let that rib cage. You're not pulling it. I wanna pull it down. No, we're not pulling it. Okay. Everybody else gets to, okay? And then as you move, I want you to find it's that shoulder blade. You can squeeze them together. You can find all sorts of range of motion, but you're using the shoulder blade, okay? And go ahead and just pull the hands back and forward. Squeeze them together, forward, back, squeeze them together, forward, back, hold the squeeze, go ahead and wiggle here. That's going to be fairly intense on those shoulder blades. And then release and roll through. Okay, beautifully done. That's all we're doing with our shoulders today. Come here, okay? On this one, Larry, be really careful. Bring your right arm underneath. Try to get your elbows together. Okay? That's it. You're holding it right there. You're not doing any more. The rest of us are going to try and pull here together. You're staying here. You're just trying to go there. That's range. That's a really great shoulder stretch for what we just have done. Okay? Hands are going to try and move away from the face. Elbows are going to try and lift. See if you can feel like you're putting this part of the arm on the front wall. Just stretch it forward. It's a great stretch through the shoulder blades. And breathing deeply. If you happen to be able to do, but you can't grab, you just reach in with those arms, finding that stretch. Tuck your chin. Take some breaths. Go ahead. To release, you're dropping the elbows down, kind of rounding through the back. Release, release, release. Roll through those shoulders. Other side. Left arm's coming underneath. Wrap it up. Elbows together.
That's what we just did.
No, you did the other one, didn't you? Yeah, you did the other one. Okay? Here if you can. Just here if you're not. You don't get to reach. Your elbows, your hands are staying out wide. When you reach here, you are pulling ribs. We're not pulling ribs when they're cracked, okay? All right, here we go. You're gonna lift the hands a little bit up. You're gonna try and put this forearm on the wall in front of you. Hold the shoulder blades. Tuck your chin. That stretch from those muscles. We want to stretch them after we work them. And then go ahead and drop the elbows. They're going to come down by your chest. Release the hands, the stretch in, release the elbows, roll through the shoulders. Okay. That's just some of the best work you can do for shoulders. Would you kind of almost like you're swimming? Okay, backstroke, but it's just my shoulders and front crawl, right? It's just my shoulder and back again. Just creating range of motion, and then just sit up as straight as you can. Go ahead and roll through your wrists. You can make circles going one direction and then the other. I love the figure 8, just creating range of motion, okay? Anybody have any kind of arthritis-y knuckles or, yeah? I have here, one's an injury when Blair was first learning how to clip into a bike. on the tandem. And he vaulted me off and I landed. I've got it, there's a little bone that chipped off. So it's just, yeah, we just work it. Go ahead and make them as wide as you can. Stretch. Remember when we do this with our toes? Go ahead and make a fist. Tuck the fist down. Tuck it in. Turn the palms up, tuck it down. Stretching through the forearm. And then make some circles with the fist. Tight. Reverse the circle. Go ahead and stretch it out wide again. And then will you just put your hands on your lap and notice your fingers? That's increased blood flow. That's what our body needs, is increased blood flow. Okay. Let's do a couple of seated, then we're gonna do the balls standing, and then I think we'll just do a Shavasana in our chair today, unless you really want to get down on the ground. With ribs, I don't want you getting up and down. I know. Don't you just hate that? You just hate not being able to do, right? Now, the arms come up. Exhale, hinge at the hip. The main reason we do this is for our spine and connect with our breath. The inhale brings the hands back. The exhale curls us back. Oh, does anybody love that on their low back? My low back loves that. And then inhale. And exhale. Just smile. Inhale, the arms come up. Exhale, take the hinge. Hands on the thighs, inhale. Exhale, curl it back. Oh, push down, let the back round, right? And then inhale. Sit up straight and exhale. 3 more. Inhale, it comes up. Exhale, take the hinge. Inhale, hands here. Exhale, pull back. Use that entire exhale. Don't be in a hurry. Inhale, it won't make our time go any faster. Exhale. 2 more. Inhale, we come up. Exhale, we hinge. Inhale here. Exhale, curl it back. Inhale. Last one. Inhale up. Exhale, hinge. Inhale, hands. Exhale, pull back. Inhale, unwind. Exhale. Beautifully done. Notice what happens when you move with your breath. If you're yawning, it usually almost means you need more oxygen. So breathe a little deeper. Okay. We're going to take a couple of twists and side bends. You don't get to do them. Dang it. Go ahead and hold on to this side of the chair. Come up and over. Yeah, you know why we're not doing this. Go ahead and hand's going to come behind the head. Push the head back into that hand. Push the hand into your head. So it's kind of playing is expanding. It's an arm test stretch. Go ahead and look up. And go ahead and look down. But you're keeping this big. Open it and close it. Open it and close it, and then come all the way back up. And pause. Notice this left side of your body. If we don't ever pay attention to what we feel like after we move, we lose a ton. Second side, up and over. Finding that stretch first. Hand comes here, and just play tug of war for a moment with it, and then just hold, right? Find the stretch, the armpit, the elbow, open. Just go ahead and lift up. And then go ahead and just curl. Still trying to keep this open so the elbow is like moving around. Inhale, open. And exhale, close. Moving again with the breath. Inhale, open. Exhale, close. One more, open. And come out. Just notice how the armpits feel, right? The waistline, beautifully done. Okay. So, you've all got a bolster. Go ahead and grab it. We're gonna do our Shavasana right here, okay? If you find that you need a little bit more, you're welcome to do this. If you want it a little higher up on your thighs, I don't. If folding forward is tough, you might want there because this, we're trying to round through the spine here. So tuck your chin. This is not going to feel like Shavasana, okay? We're stretching still for a moment, stretching the low back. Tuck your chin. You can do without. So let your elbows slide towards me off of your bolster. Rounding through the back. So Larry, be careful on this one too. Breathe, trying to breathe through that. I know that's painful. Every breath is painful. Beautifully done. And then come back up, slide back, roll through the shoulders, okay? So Shavasana this way can be really tenuous on the back. Your back can feel like it won't relax. So if you need to get down onto the floor, you can. Take your bolster and make it come up a little higher. Okay, and then just let your arms come up over it and just support. We're not going to be here very long, just a couple of minutes. Close your eyes. Let your breath just be, if you can, and it works, you can put one fist on another and let your chin rest on those hands. It will release and relax. Maybe that's too intense on the fists. Run back through in your mind just a little bit over what you've done. The movement you've created, the places that you were like, oh, that's good. And then kind of make a little pledge to yourself that you're going to do that again. If it felt good once, it'll probably feel good more than once. Let the breath be there. You can stop focusing on it if you want to, or if your mind wanders, you can keep that breath there. Be okay with the stillness. Be okay with the holding. Deepen your breath. Start to move a little bit more. Okay, that is a pretty good stretch on the low back. So if it felt really good on your low back, find a way to do that at home, right? You can totally do it on a counter. My bed happens to be high enough that I can hinge like this and just lay my body on my bed so that it is really relaxed. And I can, but then my low back is also just relaxed. So that's a way to do it. If you've got a countertop that's high, put a blanket or something on the countertop and you can do it on the countertop if your bed's not very high. But look for a place where you can find that pause. It's just important. I try to do mine like when I first wake up in the morning. Bathroom's always the first call. And then I drink. And then I'll come back and pause. And it's just such a great start to your day, right? A great way of just kind of acknowledging, okay, I don't have a perfect body, but I have my perfect body. It's not what I would deem a perfect body, but I know it's my perfect body for me. And everything that's a part of it, including that sore hip, is a part of it to help me become a better me. So celebrate you, your body, your gift, right? And just be so appreciative of what it can do. And then be okay with moving it after if there's pain. I'm sorry, all of us have passed that 60 mark, right?
That's it.
Not yet. There's still waiting. Some of us are closer to 70, 80. That's okay, right? It's okay. It's okay.
It is okay.
It is okay. We've lived a beautiful, long, productive, fabulous life. Somebody's saying it's time to end it. So bring your hands to your heart center. The divine that's within each of us. We recognize other people's divinity, greatness, goodness, their light. We acknowledge it and we bow to that light. Namaste.
Thank you, David.
Thank you for joining me today.
This is really good.
Yeah, good stuff.